Hey guys, welcome back. Rowan Trust here with the junk drawer, and today, guys, we're gonna be working on my car. So I'm gonna kind of tell you what's going on real quick before we get doing it. So I've noticed while driving, I'm hearing some clunking. It sounds like it's coming from the driver's side wheel. So when you hear clunking, that can be a number of things. Bad tie rod end. Usually, though, your wheel will, not stay aligned and stuff like that. Bad ball joints. It could be stabilizer arm, bushings, all this other stuff. So I went to go ahead and start replacing the ball joint because the ball joint was shot. Well, this car I have, which is a Chevy HHR, by the way, they don't just, for whatever reason, instead of bolting the ball joint on, they rivet them on. They hot rivet on. So in order for it to get them off, you have to grind the rivets off and then try to pop it off, the ball joint off, and then punch through the old rivets out of the lower control arm. And I actually couldn't do that. I was grinding and grinding. I spent 3 hours grinding it, and I couldn't punch the hole, get the ball joint off, and then punch through the rivets out of the holes there, because I just didn't have enough room to swing a hammer. So that made me have to take the lower control arm off. And that is where I found a new problem. So right here is the lower control arm. As you can see, it's rusted now, but I started grinding I ground the rivets down here all the way down to the ball joint, and I ground it out here, and I couldn't get this off. The ball joint is, the boot on this is torn, it's bad. But this is why I had to replace the control arm. This bushing here is all cracked and broken. And that there is going to cause your car to, your tires to, or your wheel, whatever you want to call it, to not be as stable. It's going to cause it to move sideways, up and down, and forward and back, and it can mess up your tires. It's going to ruin your ball joints, tire ends, and all this other stuff. So, had to replace that. Now, I already did the driver's side, so what you're going to see is me doing the passenger side, because if I did one side, I might as well do the other. So, let's get to work. Alright, so I already took off up here. Alright, it's a 18 millimeter from the factory. I just used an impact and it came off, and then what I did to get it off is I put a pry bar, a big pry bar, this big something right here, and I wedged it in between the sway arm here, or stabilizing arm, whatever you want to call it, and then I just pushed down, so because it will be pushed up almost here, and you pull down, and it will pop out, and now I can do this. Now, sometimes when you're loosening these up, the ball inside will spin. You need to get a pair of vice grips, or channel locks, excuse me, or like locking pliers as they call them, and then you'll have to grip here, and then just crush it really hard, and that'll prevent it from spinning, or the ball from spinning and stuff. So we're seeing how this one goes real quick. This one is, yeah, see, this one's spinning. Okay, and I'll show you. So if I go over here, and let me turn the light on. Let's see here. So if I spin it by hand, you're going to see it spins there. So it's spinning. So what I'm going to have to do is just put a pair of channel locks on there, grip it, and then we should be able to break it free, hopefully. Alright, so I got him on. Now, hopefully this will prevent it from spinning. Get this, see if we can get this come off. Normally I would be holding this with my hand, but see, is it back off? Yeah, we're almost off. All right, just like that, it is off. Alright, time to put the new one on. Now you can go in reverse, it doesn't really matter. You can put the top in first, tighten it down, then pry down on the sway bar here and get it lined up here. Me personally, because I already did the driver's side, this is the passenger side. I'm going to put the bottom one first, then push down, because then I can easily see the stabilizing linkage here, line up with that much easier. So, all right, I'm gonna go get the new parts real quick. Okay, so here's the new part here. It doesn't matter which direction it goes in, it'll both work no matter what. And just so you guys are aware, this will also work on the driver's side. So think of it as universal. Comes with new grease nipples here. We are gonna have to tighten those down. Those are 9mm. Oh, wrong way. So, and just so you guys are aware of these style nuts here, so I want to show you something interesting. So if you see any kind of nuts here, and it looks like it's got little triangles in the corners here on the nuts, it's like a type of locking nut, okay? So it's going to be really hard to get on, but it prevents it from backing out, just so you know. But they're considered one-time use nuts. All right, so most replacement sway bar links here come with a little nut back here. It's this one is 18mm, and this nut here is 17. So it's opposite of the new one, which is would be 18, or the old one, which is 18. So anyways, all right, I'm gonna take. Where did this nut go? It must have just, oh, it fell off. Okay, whew. Okay, I'm gonna put it on the sway bar link down here, the sway bar. Get that on, and then I'm gonna put on the top there. I'll show you guys kind of how I do it. All right, so this one, it's not tightened yet, but I want to show you the massive difference here. So you can see it's pretty shocking how much that's a difference. So having a big pry bar, crowbar is going to be really handy if you have one. Highly recommend you get it. So, all right, let me get myself situated here. All right, I might have to go the other way. Normally you want the hook portion to be, but it doesn't matter. So now with the nice long pry bar, you can really pull down and get some good torque, and it will you know, get it kind of lined up there. So you see it really move down a lot. Now I made a bit of an error here. I got to loosen that bottom one up now. So you may ask yourself, why did I have to loosen it up? Because it didn't have any room to go this way, and I need it to, so I can get behind this here. So that other nut on here. Now something I will do is I'll use an impact on that, because I'm not too concerned about that too much. So I'm going to go ahead and take that out. Here again real quick. So, if I'm correct, manufacturer says it's supposed to be 56 torque pounds for these. I don't have a torque wrench anymore, so it's just good and tight. Alright, now, let me get... Oops. Now, I still put an 18mm back here to kind of hold it, if I can. I have to push this down for a second. Oh no. Okay. Oh, I went the wrong way. Well, guys, make sure you check your direction of your impacts, huh? I had that set to, I had the impact set to the lowest possible setting. So, ow, son of a gun, that hurt. Whew. Okay. Oh yeah, that's tight. Okay. Now that's done. So now, this. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be changing the lower control arms, okay? Which is this part here. The reason being is the ball joints are bad. Well, the other one definitely was, but the ball joint was bad. And you see here, they riveted them on. So in order to get this off, you have to grind it out and stuff like that. And I tried that with the other one, and you saw that in the intro. But it's too much of a pain in the butt. But also I found that the bushings went bad, which is going to be back over there. I'll show you. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take off the entire lower control arm and replace it. So you got this nut here, which I believe, is that the 15 or is that the 16? Okay, so that's the 16 millimeter, if I'm correct. Let me make sure. Oh no, that is the 15. Okay, so 15 millimeter, and on the other side of the bolt is a 16. So we're going to, I'm going to use the impact on the 16 side to take it off. And once that's off, you know, I'm just going to smack the hell out of it here. Sometimes you might have to smack it up here at the knuckle for it to come off. That's fine. And then I'm going to take off. There's two bolts here. There's one here and on the other side, and then one big one down. Oh, my hand's in the way. Right here. Okay, and that's a 21 millimeter, and I believe this is a, I don't remember what size that was. Let's try a 16. I think it was a 16. Yeah, 16. Okay, or 15, whichever. Okay, so let me get to it. Let me go ahead and take this off real quick. All right, so I'm backwards. This is the 15 millimeter, and this side's the 16. No, I don't have a smaller extension, or I would use a much smaller one. And I would use a much better hose than this, but I need to connect it. Dang. Well, it's loosened, that's good. Came off. Okay. Don't lose that, you're going to have to reuse it. I'm going to show you guys a couple of tricks too. Oh, this reminds me back when I used to be a mechanic. Oh, snap, or just crappy hose. Alright, so that's off. Now I'm going to hit that stupid thing off if I can. Sometimes it'll just wiggle off, but we'll see. I think I'm just going to beat it off with my mallet. Oh, I also have a tool. It's called a pickled fork. You can put it in there and beat that, and I'll pop it off too. But there you go. So it's off. Sometimes though it will fight. A couple of ways to get that out: WD-40, PB Blaster, all that stuff. Okay, so now that's up. Whew. All right. Now I'm going to take off the other parts here. All right, so this bolt and that bolt's coming off first. And that, I believe, is a 16. Now it has this little piece that comes with it. Don't lose those, you're gonna need them. Okay. Now I need a 21 millimeter. Right back. Don't lose that. All right, now you kind of have to finesse this to come out a little bit. It's not a big deal. There we go. Let's see. Oh, the boot and this bushing is all busted up too. Come on. Come on. This way. This just makes it fun when it's all broken like that. There we go. So, if we look here, it's all broken. It's cracked there. It's cracked all around here, and it's pretty shot. Oh yeah. So I'll go grab the other lower. All right, something I'm gonna do real quick before I even place that lower control arm. I'm gonna replace this tie rod end. The other one was shot and bad. This one actually doesn't look bad, so I really don't need to replace it, but I'm going to anyways. So I gotta loosen this up here. Once that's loosened up, and then there's a nut down here, I'm gonna go ahead and loosen that up, and then you can just smack the bottom of this here and it'll come out. And then you need to grip the actual tie rod here to break this free. And once you get it broke free, then you need to count how many rotations there was to take out and try to put it back just as much. You're still gonna have to get it professionally realigned and all that stuff, but it'll be close. Okay, let's see if I can do that with that in the way. Oh, I really hope it doesn't rain. All right, I just use pipe wrench on this. That's what I used to do when I was a mechanic. We need to go a couple of, like 1 or 2 little turns, and just try to remember how many you had, so that way again it helps with your alignment. So if I start here, this position, and I go all the way over, it's 1, And I'll start the same spot again. Oh, and actually, I really don't need to do any more. I can always leave it there because that's technically broken free, but I'm going to do it again. Same thing on. All right, 2. All right, that's broken free. Now, time to do this. Now, there's a way you can break this free, and that's by turning this first and leaving it in here, and that will kind of free it up. I spun it, so hopefully they'll be free now. Okay. What size socket was that? I think that was an 18. I could be wrong. Yep, 18, okay. Now, just so you guys are aware, all the parts I got from Parts Geek. Parts Geek or Geek Parts, whatever. And all the parts come with new like hardware and stuff like that, so it's not a big deal. Okay. Now, some will say hit the knuckle here to loosen it. You don't really need to. You can just hit. Well, it's moving a little. Pickle fork time, man. Pickle fork time. We ain't playing around. This ball joint separator, whatever you want to call it, tie rod separator, everybody calls it a pickle fork. You can just get it in there, get it in place, and it'll help pop it up. Well, you just don't want to come off, do you? There we go. Oh, look at all the grease that came out. All right. Time to remove that and place it now. Okay. If we're lucky, it'll just spin right off. All right. So start at the down position. One. Okay. 3, 14, 15, in half. Okay, 15 and a half for that side. Ooh, I got grease all over my hands. Okay, now the new tie rod end, outer tie rod end, comes with a castle nut and a cotter pin. So, and with a grease fitting that's got to go in there, and that is a 7mm. Okay. Don't lose that. Now, do the same thing here. So we're at halfway. Half. Then we can count from 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 13, 14, 15. Okay. Lock that nut back into place there. There we go. Good and tight. Okay. Get my Torx back. All right, now clean up some of the grease there. Okay. Now get this in place. Put our castle nut on. Castle nut right there. We're going to tighten that down pretty darn tight until we can see the hole for the cotter pin. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's see. Okay, yep. Alright, now when this gets tight, you just get it good and tight. Now, I'm trying to see if I can show you guys what the hole looks like. So, the cotter pin hole is, you know, now right in front of this freaking castle part here. So we need to turn it. You want to tighten, not loosen. Keep tightening it. So we need to tighten it so we can see it fully. I'm actually using the phone here so I can see if I can see it. Yep, and there it is. Alright, now let's go ahead and put a cotter pin in. Alright, so we got the cotter pin in. It's in there. Now time to reattach the lower control arm. Now, change the ball joint or this off. You have to remove the ball joint that goes down under here in that space there. You have to anyways, but it doesn't mean you have to replace the control arm. You just loosen that knuckle, take the pin out and drop it. That way you can do that. All right, let me see if I can get this in place. Okay, so here's the new part, by the way. It's supposed to be aluminum, but they sent me a steel one. I don't know what's up with it. It fits, and it works. I don't really care that much. Supposedly this is supposed to be for the cobalt. The new bushing, let me see if I can show you guys a little better. New bushing's not broken or like that. So hopefully you guys can see what's happening here. So this is honestly the hardest part, is getting this in place. Once you kind of get it in, then it goes fairly easy. But this is honestly the hardest part. Oh, great, I got grease all over my hands now. I guess it helps if I move the damn whole wheel assembly out of the way, huh? We are literally right there. There we go. All right. Okay. So one of the tricks to get this part inside here is just to move the entire brake rotor system and everything out of the way. Like literally just move it out of the way. It moves. So all right, now I got to get this hole lined up so I can get the bolts in place. That's not it. All right. So you guys can see what's going on. I see it's right there. This part's gonna be fun. You jerk. I've been known to be wrong though. That's not it. Anyways. Oh. Now, yes, I could use the impact, but if I'm not in right, I don't want to screw something up. It's better just to do this by hand initially, so that way I'm good and don't break my car, which I think we're okay. Beautiful. Okay. We'll use the impact for that. All right, so you see this thing has got a flared side here. That goes against the thing like that. Okay. Camera's being weird. This is going in, all right. Go. Okay, so one of the last things we gotta do, well, sort of, we gotta tighten all these grease fitting nipples and stuff that are on here, but those are easy. But the last major thing we gotta do is we gotta attach the ball joint there. I'll put it in the knuckle right here. I'm gonna show you guys a nifty little trick, so give me a second to kind of get set up. Okay, once you kind of get it lined up in there, alright, it can be a pain in the ass to get that to go inside the knuckle there. So there's a trick, and that is get a block, and I'm gonna have to knock it up a little bit with the rubber mallet, but what you do then is you put the block directly underneath the ball joint, and you lower the car, and it will actually press it in place, saving you a bunch of headaches. So I can go up a little bit more. This side's fighting me a lot more than the other side did, which is odd. I figured it would be just as easy, but whatever. Ooh, don't do that, woman. Okay, so just ever so lightly. Just a little bit at a time. Let's see where we're at. Oh, look at that. It looks like it might have already... Nope, not quite there. Almost. All right. So we're just a hair. Let's see. Yep, it's all the way in. Now you can use your bolt to go into the knuckle and actually not really struggle to get it in. All right. Trim forward. Yep. There we go. New tie rod end, new stabilizing link, new lower control arm with the ball joint. So all I gotta do now is tighten up all those little grease fittings. This one here is a 7mm, the one that's gonna be there is 9mm, so super easy. All right, so there you have it, guys, all done. The lower control arm on the passenger side was a lot harder to put in that knuckle than the driver's side, but nonetheless, it's done. So I tightened everything up, tightened all the fittings, tightened all the bolts, everything was good. I didn't have a torque wrench, so everything's just good and tight. Test drove it, everything's fine. So now I just gotta take it and get a professional alignment done, which is gonna be no big deal. So that's it, guys. Hope you liked this, and if you did, make sure you like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. So with that, I'll see you later.